Gosei Sentai Dairanger!
Hey guys, and welcome to another one of my Gosei Sentai Dairanger episode commentary and reviews. This time it's episode 39, The Demon Fist Falls in the Setting Sun. And remember, if you do enjoy what you see, please remember to like and subscribe, and maybe even leave a comment down below. What did you think of the episode? And speaking of, get into it. The episode opens with Copatros guarding an imprisoned Jin in a cave, but as it comes in to check on him, he strangles it with his chains and gets the key. Elsewhere, the Rangers are playing baseball, but Ryu is plagued with thoughts of Jin during their last fight. While elsewhere, an injured Jin is making his escape. Back at the prison, the guard is removed, and Zydos calls the escape a futile gesture. Back at the game, Ryu goes chasing after the ball, when he finds the body of Jin lying in the woods. Later, Jin wakes up in Ryu's home, as Ryu tells him not to move, but Jin gets to his feet to challenge him to a fight, despite barely being able to stand. Back at HQ, the others don't understand Ryu's decision, as he says Jin has also saved his life. Back home, Ryu brings Jin some food to help restore his strength, but as he offers him a spoonful, Jin knocks it away, though Ryu just smiles and cleans it up. Later, Ryu is doing overtime at work, explaining that someone he knows is hurt, so he needs the extra money. While in the dark, something with glowing eyes attacks a woman. The next day, Ryu is wheeling Jin through a train station, but when he asks people for help at some stairs, he is ignored, as Jin says people only think of themselves. So Ryu puts Jin on his back, carrying both him and the wheelchair to the top of the stairs. That night, a couple is attacked by a starving wolf spirit monster, leaving blood on its hands. Waking the next morning, Jin sees Ryu asleep in a chair and smiles. But when he goes to touch a flower next to the bed, he sees blood on his hands and his arm changing to white. His reaction wakes Ryu, who comes to change his bandages, but is pushed away. Later, Ryu has taken Jin out when he asks why he's helping him. But when Ryu says he saved him to Jin, Jin denies it, saying he only did it so he can defeat him himself, as Ryu says maybe he's done this for the same reason, as Jin asks a favour of Ryu. If he loses his mind and becomes a monster, then Ryu is to kill him himself, even showing Ryu his weak point, as he starts gasping for breath and starts to change. Telling Ryu to remember his promise, Jin staggers away. Fully changed, the monster Jin attacks some schoolgirls, but is itself attacked by the Dairangers, who transform and fight the creature, with only Shoji being able to hold his ground, and with his Dairinken, he hurts the monster, causing it to flee. Elsewhere, Ryu is hunting for Rin, and eventually finding him injured by a lake, as the other Rangers arrive, and they recognise the injury. As Jin attacks Ryu before grabbing his head and changing into monster form, Zydos arrives, explaining he has turned Jin into Garuki, and nothing of the man remains, as he orders it to attack the Rangers. They try to reach Jin to no avail, as it attacks them and the Rangers transform. As the monster attacks again, Ryu remembers Jin's warning to him, and attacks the weak point with his sword, but is unable to penetrate deeply enough, as the monster grabs him, but as he gets free, the monster pushes the sword deeper in, refusing to be Zydos' pawn any longer. Zydos attacks, but Ryu gets in the way, which powers him down as he rushes to Jin. As the pair rise, back to back, and fight the Copatros together. As Ryu powers up again, and Jin regains his demon form, before attacking Zydos. As the two fight, and as Jin seems to get the upper hand, Zydos overpowers Jin, as the Rangers all attack Garuki, finishing it off with the bazooka. And as the Rangers approach the body of Jin, he starts to rise, before Ryu and the pair face off for their final fight. As Ryu pulls his final punch, Jin calls him naive, and says there are times he must get past personal feelings, before turning and leaving. Though he does turn and thank Ryu before staggering away. Later we see Jin still staggering on, blood dripping from his hand, as he turns to see Zydos and an army of Copatros charging him. As Jin flips a coin and runs into the fight, as the Copatros open fire and the episode ends. Okay, I gotta say, first off, Ryu taking care of Jin is like a really nice touch. It shows the sort of respect, even though they don't like each other, it shows there is like a respect between the pair. Because obviously, for Jin to Ryu, Jin is the only person who beat him before he got given the demon power by Zydos. And then, of course, Jin became the demon, and he was still beaten by Ryu. And, he got to the point, but Jin also saved Ryu because he wouldn't have anyone else defeating him. Especially not with a sneak attack like Cannon Head or whatever his name was tried when he launched off that fist missile thing at Ryu in the last time we saw them. So it's nice that this sort of respect is sort of built upon. Ryu, wants to save him in return after seeing him in the state he's in. And the fact that, you can see the respect is slowly becoming both ways. To the point where Jin is becoming a full-on monster, which is obviously the final stage of the demon power given to him by Zydos. And the fact that he's so afraid of the change that he trusts Ryu as the only person that would be capable of beating him. And says, my weak point is right here. You have to get me here. If anything happens, it's like he suspects. I don't think he knew at that point, but he's really suspected. And he's like, yeah, this is my weak point right here. And, it ends up being Ryu uses that to finish him off. But I just love that. I just absolutely love it between the pair. And the only downside, because it's, a really good episode, the only downside I have to this episode is that the final fight is just confusing. Because with Jin becoming Garuki, but then after he fights off Zydos' control and influence, after Ryu's stabbed him in the heart, Ryu and Jin are seen together, and then Jin's fighting Zydos, but then all the Rangers are fighting Garuki before blowing it up and then going over to Jin's body. Now, is Jin's body there because that's what was left over when Garuki part blew up and it's just Jin left? Or Jin and Garuki separated? Or they're still together and while he was fighting Zydos made him turn into Garuki and go after the Rangers? I don't know because it just doesn't make it clear. And, even in my notes, it said, I honestly don't know what happened. And it's the only time, I think, this series, when I'm just sort of watching it going, what? Rewind. Watch it again. Nope, still haven't got a clue. Rewind. Nope, still. Bleh. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. And also, what a potentially dark ending. Because you've got that grudging respect between Jin and Ryu, where he's even thanking Ryu as he leaves. Before Zydos and the Copatros hunt him down, he's sort of in this desert area. It's the sun setting. It's really atmospheric, scenic, and all the rest of it. And the Copatros attack, and he takes them out. But then Zydos is there, and the Copatros are all lined up, and they're they've all got bloody machine guns. He's just a fighter. And they've all got machine guns. And you literally just all the machine gun noise and all the rest of it. But you don't see. I mean, obviously, I guess they're probably not allowed to show on a kids' TV show a guy getting brutally machine gunned to death. Probably. It's Japan, they don't hide this stuff from their kids. I'm pretty sure there's one in Kakuranger where one of the Rangers is fighting unmorphed against some guy who betrayed his family, got them all killed, and this guy's got bloody Wolverine claws. And the Rangers are all covered in blood and scratch. So, and they don't hide injuries and stuff from their kids in these shows. It's one of the things I love about them. They get really badly hurt sometimes. But they don't show Jin. And all you see is Jin's coin in the sand. So he's either gone for good or he's somehow survived, but we haven't got a clue how. we'll just have to find out in the last 11 episodes, because, yeah, we don't find out in this one, which, I hope he survived. I'd like to see him again, although part of me feels his arc is ended. Although saying that, we've still got another Kujaku episode, so... Well, should have, because she's still got to get the tier. And, yeah, we're not going to get more Stooges. Well, we're getting one more Stooges because of the next one. As for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, it's just reused footage and not much of it. And, of course, what's he called? Garuki has been renamed Skellerina and been given a weird high-pitched voice. That's about it. There really was not much to say about the Power Rangers one of that. But as I said earlier, we've got the final Three Stooges episode next week. How do I know? Because it's called Farewell, Three Stooges. I think that's a little bit of a clue. I'll see you next time.